Good evening and welcome to Slam the Gavel, the show that tells it all regarding family court, other court issues, as well as CPS. I am your host, Marianne Petrie. You can find me, my books, and blogs on dismantlingfamilycourtcorruption.com. The book, Dismantling Family Court Corruption, Why Taking the Kids Was Not Enough, came out in 2020 and was a bestseller by 2022. And Cry Out for Justice, Poems of Truth followed, and Raised by These Wolves, How Family and Federal Courts Are Failing Our Children. That was a bestseller as well. And on July 17th of 2024, Raised by These Wolves, How Child Trafficking Through Foster Care and Court Systems came out as a bestseller the first day. And I have a return guest. I'm happy to have John Sullivan on. He was last on season 4, episodes 2, 18, and 96, and episode 35 of season 5. And we talked about the racism and hell in Holland, Michigan. So I welcome you, John Sullivan, to the podcast. We're going to talk about the ongoing struggles with CPS and how they terminated your rights. And,
Yep.
tell me more. This is just so wrong. When did they terminate your rights?
So I say after they had the fake trial against me for the fake charges that they planted on me back in 2022 of July. And I say somewhere in the beginning of 2023 or towards the end of 2023 is when they terminated my parental rights. And yeah, I haven't seen my kids since 2022, and it's just mind blowing that I watched the podcast, and it's just many of other parents, men and women across the United States, just dealing with these horror stories of CPS just coming in, just taking the kids, period, without even going off with facts or you know
Mm-hmm.
things that they need to do to put cases on people, not just put someone in a case because someone else got in trouble and put charges on them. That's just like me standing at the corner and somebody crashes into a person. And because I'm standing on the corner, I'm being charged as being liable for the person that crashed into the car. I mean, that's just crazy.
Right. Now, you're like, with your case, your ex was on the street with the kids in a different city, right?
Well, that's what they said,
Uh-huh.
that she was outside at the Holland bus/train station here in downtown Holland, Michigan, sleeping outside with the kids in the rain in chilly temperatures.
Oh.
But and they said the police came down there. But if the police came down there, I was like, wouldn't I been down there? And they said she got irate with the CPS workers and irate with the police. And when they took her to the hospital to get some things checked out, they said she left and took the children that same night. But they said they took the children from her on 5/19 of 2022 at 3 o'clock in the morning. And then they show up at my door on 5/20 of 2022 without my kids and telling me everything that happened. And when I asked, well, why you guys didn't bring me my children? They said nobody knew who you were or nobody knew where you lived. So
Mm.
if that was the case, then how am I in an abuse and neglect case saying that I abandoned my kids and
Mm-hmm.
I provided no support and I didn't care about any CPS cases or any ongoing CPS cases where nobody never got a hold of me? And when I spoke up about this, to everybody, it's like nobody wants to hear it, including the news stations.
Mm-mm.
Nobody wants to help get the stories out of all these people that are reaching out, that are heartbroken from this. I
Mm-hmm.
don't understand why these news agencies in all these other states all these other parents that's crying out for help, trying to get a story across and a point across about what's going on to bring some awareness because it seems like the whole world is asleep to this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody cares until it happens to them, or nobody wants to believe that that's going on. I was told by the Holland Police Department that they said, "You want me to believe that a social worker planted false evidence on you in a case?" I said, "Is that hard to believe?"
Ooh, you weren't even there, but they found you pretty quick on the 20th of May.
Right, but I
So
was
that,
never there. And
right.
they said they had a 2-year investigation going on against her with 3 different counties across the state of Michigan. So that's Kalamazoo County, Grand Rapids, and Holland. Well, I talked to the people in Kalamazoo County,
Mhm.
and they told me that it was never anything there pertaining to my children or their mother or me being implicated in anything that CPS might have had against her in Kalamazoo County with CPS. So I was told that by the CPS administrator. You know, her name is Susan.
Mhm.
That it was never nothing there, you know, about me. So that was some clarification from there. But
Right.
Grand Rapids and Holland seems to be the main issue. They seem to want to just allow this to go on. They basically telling me that it's okay for social workers from their department to plant false evidence in cases on parents that had nothing to do with the cases. My kids should have just been brought to me while they dealt with the mother. And if she couldn't have got her things together with them, then they could have went forward from there on out.
Uh-huh.
But my kids could have been with me, not just saying that, well, she got in trouble with us. She did this to your children, supposedly. So we're gonna put these same charges on you. And I was never there. I don't understand how that even makes sense.
Right. And I also, um, I put you in my book. You
Oh,
are
okay.
number 7,
Yeah,
and everyone can see that. And then I have your picture. Your
yeah.
story is very
Okay.
unique, in the
Yes, it's a lot of unique stories that come across your podcast that I'll be listening to, you know.
fact.
Same type of situations, different scenarios here and there, but
Mhm.
it's mainly the same thing for parents, no matter what color you are, or no matter what color your skin color is,
Mhm.
black, white, brown, whatever you want to call it. It's like they have no picks when it comes to this. It's like a money scheme to them.
Mhm.
You know, they're looking at all the children that they can take as dollar signs to help them get
Right.
extra money in their pockets and help their friends and all the people that's helping keep this thing going to do these things to parents across the United States. And it's just sad because we have all these buildings in each state in the United States that anyone is supposed to complain to make complaints about things like this. And when parents do this,
Mhm.
it seems like none of those buildings or those people that work there find this interesting or want to look into it correctly. It's like they're all linked up. So it's like, it feels like to me, it's like when all the parents who are complaining, trying to get those complaints sent to those buildings,
Mhm.
it's like they already know, so they're already connected. Hey, if you see such and such as a complaint coming through to them, can you kind of push that down to the bottom of the pile or try and make that disappear? Because I've been complaining for 2 years and counting to all these buildings, the OCO, civil rights, anybody that you can think of that you're supposed to make a complaint
Mhm.
against CPS, social workers, judges, attorneys. everybody who's involved in this. I've done that. And they just laugh and look at you like you're crazy. Basically, that's their favorite word. Are you crazy?
Uh-huh.
Are
I've
you
heard that.
crazy? You know,
Yeah.
that's the favorite line that they use. Are you crazy? You crazy. No, the crazy thing is all you people went to school and did all this training to take these jobs, but you don't know the law.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you know the law,
Mm-hmm.
but you seem to twist the law against good people when you're not supposed to do that.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
I really think that day on no or May 20th, they should just brought you the kids.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting when, because like I said, I wasn't even there when they initially came. They came and left the car with my mother and said, "Could you have John give us a call?" So when I finally got the card and I gave him a call, and then they finally showed up, and I was never expecting for me to have abuse and neglect charges due to something that my children's mother was in trouble with them when I was never involved or approached by any of these people that were so-called witnesses in this case. I mean, they had all these people that were witnesses on the side for the CPS side
Mm-hmm.
that swore up and down that they did this and they did that. But if they did this and did that, how many of those people out of that witness list can honestly say, yeah, he was there too? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's something about them with not being honest.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of got me kind of like worried. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you can't be honest, then what are you doing working in these kind of jobs? Because the police is supposed to protect the people,
Mm-hmm.
we the people. CPS is supposed to be in the best interest for children that are abused and neglected by parents or whoever. Because yeah, some kids are, God forbid, in situations like that, but not all parents are abusive and neglective to their children.
Mm-hmm.
You have good mothers, you have good fathers, you even have good grandparents, good
Mm-hmm.
aunties, good uncles, good sisters, good brothers that are well off, good enough in their mind to take care of their sister's child, their brother's child, their son's whatever, daughter, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But they're overlooking the fact just to gain money and then take people through hell with
Mm-hmm.
false charges,
Well,
destroy their life.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, were you cleared of the abuse and neglect charges?
No, I have abuse and neglect charges due to the falsified allegations that CPS worker Elizabeth Munskins wrote up in her falsified petition.
Yeah, because I thought, like, well, over here we have like I think 20 days to appeal, and then you go before like a CPS judge with all of this, and they rule on it.
Yeah, well, in the beginning, I kind of figured it out that there was never no hope for me from the way I was being treated
Mm-hmm.
since day one. So it's no matter how many appeals or how much you complain or whatever you say about them, it seems like they're all covering in higher places for one another.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody might be higher than the next person that's on the train, so they're going to cover for that person. If the low man on the pole start calling up all the way up to the top when everybody's making complaints, out of somewhere from the low man on the pole to the top man on the pole, all the parents that come across the podcast that I see talking, our complaints will never get there unless somebody from the low man on the pole to the top man on the pole wakes up and be like, you know what? Why do we have all these parents in all these states across the United States saying the same thing until somebody wakes up
Mm-hmm.
and be honest and takes control of the situation they got, because it's a messy situation, but it will not get cleared until somebody within has a heart,
Mm-hmm.
really look and understand what us as these parents are crying out, complaining, trying to explain why are we getting did like this when we shouldn't have never
Mm-mm.
been done like that. Never.
Oh, so many of us, so many.
There's so many.
I mean,
I
like,
see.
who you were dealing with, was it really a social worker? Or was it some lowly caseworker?
Yeah, it was a social worker. Her name was Elizabeth Munstens, and her whole team of corrupt Sarah Winters, Jessica Belowski, uh, oh, you even got the Department of Health and Human Services supervisor, Jill Capricci, Kendra Spanger. All these people are telling me that it's okay for their coworker slash CPS friend to file fraudulent cases against people.
Hmm.
Because I spoke to all these women from that department, and they all just think it's a joke. They all just sit back and laugh and act like what I'm saying is, not true. And
Right, right.
how
Because
could it not be true
uh,
unless somebody looks into this correctly? Look into it correctly.
oh yeah, they belittle you because it
Yeah,
was done to me.
yeah, yeah. They just caught a judge here in Michigan too. I think I sent you a clipping in an email of the what's her name, Judge Kathleen Ryan
Hmm.
from somewhere up by Detroit, Michigan, called herself the new racist of the kind of judges. Said she, yeah, there she is. That's her. Yeah, talking about black people is lazy and talking about how she's disgusted with the LGBTQ community. I want to get that right. I'm sorry about that, but
That's
it's there
okay.
for anybody to Google. And I feel like with judges like that here in the state of Michigan
Hmm.
and anywhere else in the United States, these are the reasons why none of us, as good parents and good grandparents and good aunties and uncles, can get any help when it comes to CPS and corruption within. Because we got judges just like that who you just showed
Hmm.
on the screen.
Right,
And if
right,
she calls herself the new racist, then just imagine how many other judges, no matter what color they are, that was a white lady. You
right,
got black judges, Mexican judges, all kinds of judges. But just imagine how many judges are just like her, feel
right.
just like her, with that kind of power in her mind to say those things, but never thought that someone within would expose her. And that's what happened.
See, I think she needs a psychological evaluation. She needs to be off the bench. This was by the Associated Press. And it says in the first paragraph, a suburban Detroit judge is no longer handling cases after a court official turned over recordings of her
Yeah,
making anti-gay insults and referring to Black people as lazy. And
yeah,
this is probate judge Kathleen Ryan. And
that will be her.
yeah, she was removed from her docket on the 27th of August for unspecified misconduct. Hmm.
Hmm.
Very
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Ah, yeah.
And that's why I say I feel like none of us parents can ever get a fair shot because
Right.
of judges like that.
Mm-mm.
And
Mm-mm.
judges like that, you got to understand. Not only do we got judges like that, but we got their buddies, the attorneys, the lawyers,
Yeah, right.
the prosecutors.
Right.
You know, the social workers and everybody else, the doctors, the people that work at the schools. It's like everybody's linked in with these people, and it's like none of the parents in America knows this.
No.
But
Uh-uh.
if it happens, then they're just blindsided,
Right.
not knowing that this is going on.
Right. And this came out September 7th.
Yeah,
And the thing is, we don't know how old she is. Um,
nope.
it doesn't really say. Um, but this is just I think, I don't know, she kind of looks young. Maybe she shouldn't be in this judge role yet,
I
or
feel like
any judge role. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like if the people are going to do those jobs, they should be doing them honestly.
Right.
Don't do this job just to don't do the job just to try and benefit and put money in your pocket and destroy people when you don't have to do that.
Right.
Do the
Right.
job honestly. If somebody needs to go to jail and you're a judge, well, you should have all the correct evidence to put that person away.
Well, and the
If
thing
you're
is,
gonna be a yeah, yeah.
you go ahead. I didn't mean to
No.
interrupt.
I mean, if you're gonna be a prosecutor, you should have all the correct evidence there to really prosecute that person for the things that you're trying to prosecute them for.
Right.
So I mean, it's like we all got common sense, and
Uh, mm,
I hope I
yeah.
see some of us don't, but we should, you
Mm,
know. And it's just sad that these people just wake up every day on a mission to just keep doing this. And like I say, I keep seeing new families and new situations coming on your podcast every other day
mhm.
about CPS and did this or did that, or it's CPS put false charges on me, or
Mhm.
it's just sad. It's sad. And like I say, it's like the whole world is asleep
Right. And
to the situation.
right. And these kids, their childhoods are being stolen.
Yeah. Taken from their parents and then probably being told all these horrible things to now turn them against their parents and
Mhm.
probably never want to see their parents anymore because what they've been told by these social workers and these foster parents, and then foster parents to just get the kids just to benefit off of money too is just
Right.
crazy. You got good foster parents out there, but
Mm.
man,
Mm.
it's pretty slim.
Yeah, I don't think they vet them very well. In fact, I had in this book, in the volume 2, I had Leslie Carrington's case on there,
Yeah,
and what she had been in and out of foster care since the age of 2. I mean, and what she had been through, her childhood was ruined.
right. Yeah, that's that's like I say, it's just horrible, horrible
Ah,
what we go through. And it's like right in
mm,
front of our face. And then when you ask for help, it's like you can't get no help.
no,
It's basically what they tell you,
right. And
point
then,
blank.
yeah, and if you do have an issue, like for instance, if a child goes to the counselor at school and let's say they're 16 and they say, "Hey, my dad whipped a water bottle at me and I hit my arm and then he took me by the neck in a chokehold." And
Yeah,
they call CPS. That's not who they should be calling. They should be calling the police because that's
yeah,
assault and battery.
yeah, yeah.
I see. I don't know why CPS is even there. They don't really do anything. And as you and I both know, a lot of these phone calls, what was it, 84% of them, could be even higher,
Hmm.
are just false allegations of people just trying to get even with other people. So
Yeah,
it's just a waste of taxpayer dollars. So why don't we
Yeah.
just utilize the police? Because that way people would have to give their name, their address and where the complaint's
Hmm.
coming from. See, that's what
Oh,
needs
yeah.
to stop. I mean,
And
this,
see
yeah, just reporting someone and not giving your name, I think that needs
that,
to
yeah.
stop.
Oh yeah. See, they changed that. See, this is the mind blowing thing that really baffles me a little bit. That Texas, when all those parents down there were complaining, that judge fried the Department of Health and Human Services department down there. Then they changed something in the laws to where if anyone, just like you was just saying, to call, then the people that got called on, they're obligated to know that person's name that called on them.
Hmm.
And then in Colorado, this person won a multi-million dollar lawsuit against CPS, and they're complaining about how the corruption is going on there. And the state of Colorado, they didn't like that within their departments, and they fried the department of whatever DCFS, whatever you call it in whatever state, they fried the CPS department in that state. And then we got Florida, where those CPS workers, it was a few down there, were falsifying cases and planting false evidence on parents in cases down there. And those CPS workers went to jail and got charged with I don't know how many felonies for doing things like that. So
Hmm.
I give big salutes to those states that I just named because it seems like they're taking care of the situations, but what really needs to be going on is a lot of more exposure. Like, why is the news not talking about this in a lot of states that I see parents from all across the United States on your podcast
Hmm.
complaining about the same situations, but the news will not explain it for them. They explain everything else that they want you to know about, but
Right.
they keep everything that they don't want you to know in the dark. They keep
Right.
putting it off. They put you off. They blow you off. They tell you, oh, we can't. I was told by the news station here that, oh, we can't talk about uh things like that because those are sticky situations to
Ugh.
sticky situations. But you guys got a thing here in the state of Michigan called the problem solvers where you
Hmm.
go around and solve problems for people within the communities here. You can't solve this, but you'll solve a problem because somebody didn't get their driveway all the way paid, and
Oh.
you'll go hunt down the owners of the companies and all these places to see why you're doing these. But when somebody says something about some corruption within the courts or CPS, it's like kryptonite to Superman with the
Right.
news stations. It's like it's hurting them to hear something like that. They don't want to talk about it. Like,
Mm-mm.
why is that?
I
But then talk about everything else.
see. Yeah, I noticed there are some things changing in Texas. I think the judge that you may have been referring to is Janis Ann Graham
Yeah,
Jack,
yeah. The lady judge. Yeah,
and
that's her.
she's fabulous.
I call her the golden fro lady. That's the lady with the golden the golden fro. That's all I remember when I seen that. When I seen that, it just made me smile to see a judge take control of a messed up situation
Hmm.
and hold people accountable for the wrongdoings to those parents down there in Texas.
Right. Right.
So I salute that judge there. She
Right.
made the right call for a lot of people that were down there hurting in Texas, a lot of parents that didn't have their children, had their children taken for no reason, put in foster care, all kinds of things. And that judge came right in and cleaned everything up.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that's what we need with all the other parents in all the other states that's crying out for help. We need a judge like her to step in and clean up the mess.
Right. Oh, right. I'm trying to find that Florida judge that would have sentenced those lowlifes for
Yeah.
falsifying records. I'm trying to find that one. Um, Geez, it's yeah. I'm glad. I mean, there's some changes. They're small, but why not just get rid of CPS and just let the police handle the assault and battery? Because really, if a kid's beaten up, this is assault and battery, and then
Right.
maybe have like a different division in the police department that would handle these kind of cases.
Well, see, I just feel like if you're going to have any departments
Mm,
or anything like that, why put people in there that don't care? They're just there to collect a paycheck Monday through Friday. Because a lot of those buildings that we call as parents to make these complaints, we sometimes forget a lot of those people are just sitting in a cubicle
mhm.
answering the telephone.
Yep.
They may look like they're taking down complaints and they can make a keyboard sound like it's really,
Yeah.
but what,
Yep.
what what's going to benefit the complaints if you don't have someone there to
Yeah.
push the complaint through correctly?
Right.
As far as just having someone there who's just collecting a paycheck and that's all they're there for.
And so are the kids,
Right,
unfortunately.
right.
Oh, this is why
Because they don't care about the kids.
no.
And if they don't care about the kids, they don't care about the parents of those children. As we all can see,
Hmm.
have we been done? Our kids have been taken. Some parents haven't seen their kids in decades, and that is hurtful.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's hurtful.
Um, I was watching last night a Netflix documentary on I think it was in Holland, Michigan that took place. And um oh,
I seen I forgot the name of it,
is
but
it
there, there's
Lost
also
Daughter?
yeah, yeah,
Yes, yes, it is. It's a two-part documentary. A tenacious mother unravels the complex mystery surrounding the 1989 disappearance of the daughter she placed for adoption. You got to
mhm,
watch this. It's called Into the Fire: The Lost Daughter.
yeah,
And Charlize Theron also produced it. Um, and kudos to her because it was it's a documentary you can't walk away from. It's like you get glued to it. And the thing
mm,
was that, her friends helped this 14-year-old, her own friends, to get her to talk to, the
yeah,
principal.
yeah,
And then it it just was swept under the rug because then they took her to their preacher, and the preacher
yeah,
saying, "How can you say this about your father?
yeah.
What a horrible
They
travesty."
You gotta watch that one, but it's another one that I don't think nobody knows about here from Michigan too as well.
Hmm.
It's a documentary on YouTube that you can go and look up. It's called North Fox Island, the pedophile ring.
Hmm.
This is some stuff that's like some Jeffrey Epstein
Hmm.
kind of thing going on, a private island in the state of Michigan where uh I, it's just like I don't even want to talk about just horrible things that kids went through when they thought they were going to have a great time at camp out
Oh.
here on this island. And all the people that were, a part of this, judges and rich people and all these people. And it's just when I watched that just kind of made me kind of weary. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I wonder what's going on with all the other people that knew about that that's probably still alive to this day. And yeah,
Right, right. It's called Child Killer Docuseries, Chapter 1, North Fox Island.
yeah,
If you can see that pretty good. I just pulled that up on the phone.
that's it.
Yeah,
And that's a lot of information too, as far as the corrupt ways that all this kind of stuff is linked together, because
mm-hmm.
it's just mind blowing to see that certain things happen, and the way they treat those kind of people as little slaps on the wrist. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, people need to, I advise anybody that's watching or
Mm.
looking into the podcast, when you see this, I advise you to watch both of those documentaries. The one about the lost daughter of Holland and the North Fox Island, and it
Right.
will really wake you up.
Because I see this one here exposing the dark secrets of the other Epstein Island. And that
Yeah.
was posted 3 months ago with 231,000 views.
Hmm.
And that's this one here. That's playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. See, it's like we all have to talk about it and expose all of this stuff. And I'm so glad you came on today. Is there anything
Yeah. I'm
else
so
you'd like
glad
to?
having
Oh
me
yeah,
back home, and I
yeah,
appreciate you always giving me a chance to speak, just as well as any other parent that comes on with your podcast. I'm always listening, and I'm always observing everything. And as far as what I'm observing is, this is still a ongoing situation that needs to get under control.
right,
We all need help. We all need help. We all want our children back, and we all want to be immune from all these fake charges,
hmm,
all the stuff that we went through. I wouldn't want an apology from no one. I would just want to be left alone and know that I was never crazy,
right.
as
No,
the
no,
favorite word. I
that
was
is
never crazy.
they did that to
But
me too. Yes,
yeah, but yeah,
yes.
that's all I like to say. So
Well, hey, how can people reach you if they have any
um,
questions?
you can reach me at my email at js113656 at gmail.com. And I guess reach out through Marianne too as well. She can get in contact with me. And yeah,
Okay.
and I'm just praying for all the families that's dealing with this situation, because
Mm.
it's a battle.
It is.
It is a battle.
Oh, I'm so glad we talked and have you on
Yeah.
again in the future too. So hey,
Oh yeah.
don't jump off. This is Slam the Gavels, a podcast to help the public understand what really goes on in these courtrooms. I'm your host, Marianne Petrie. You can find me on Spotify, YouTube. Please like and subscribe. Apple, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google, and other platforms even I don't know about. Feel free to buy me a coffee to help keep this podcast going. And thank you so much, John Sullivan, for popping on this morning. I totally appreciate you.
Thank you.